After weeks of rain, it's been a real struggle to get onto the rivers. My rivers local to me in Dorset, the Froome, the Stour, the Avon, have all been way over the fields. Rivers that are rain fed, such as the Froome and the Avon, just get higher and higher and then hold a very high level. They do go up and down when it rains heavily. They're staying high. The Stour's been very, very high, anything up to, on the upper river at Hamoon, up to about 10 foot above normal. And even when it's dropped, it's only got down to about a foot above normal. And the moment it gets to that level, it started raining again. At long last, the rain has stopped at the end of the first week of January, but it's going to take a couple of weeks for the river, even the Stour, to get fishable. But I think it will be. But it's going to be colder and much drier for a couple of weeks. In the meantime, after the Thursday, the 4th of January, when there were very extensive floods in the south of England and even worse in the Midlands, the Severn and the Trent extremely high, maybe not quite record levels, but not far short. Even on the Thursday, even the roads were closed in many places near me, and what would be simple journeys became a nightmare for many people. The Corfe River, which is two little streams that come round Corfe Castle, ended up something like 10 foot above normal. And so that road was pretty much impassable for a short time, which is quite amazing, really. But that water, once the rain stopped, that water soon went down. Flooding on the other roads dissipated overnight. And after a leisurely start on Friday, I decided to have a couple of hours on my usual pond because I know I can get there and have a fish. I had some maggots, fish a waggler, and see if I could get a few bites. What was special about this session was that I go in the winter to sit on a still water in midwinter, well togged up, got thermals on, got thick trousers, over trousers, neoprene boots, they're warm, and then a load of layers, a t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt that's a thermal, a jumper, then a hooded top, and I've got a coat that goes over that as well. So I can sit and fish. Because you're fairly static, unlike on the rivers, and the walk's not very long, I can keep fairly warm, and I could put even more layers than that on if I wanted to. But what happened this day was, after a short time of fishing, sat in the sun with very little wind, just the lightest of breezes on and off, very few clouds, just little tiny ones coming across. I started to feel quite warm. I was looking into the sun, and I knew that as the sun went round, or the earth went round, I'd be able to see the float a bit better. But I was just too hot. This is crazy. So I stripped off back to the t-shirt on the top half and soaked up the sun. This is ridiculous. January the 5th, 2024, the actual temperature in the shade was, according to the car when I was driving up there, about 8 degrees, which was the official temperature. But with the sun off the water and the sun on me, it certainly didn't feel like 8 degrees. It was a lot warmer than that. Very, very pleasant. Even better, the fish were biting. There were a few fish bubbling. Maybe I need to look at a different approach, see if we can find out what they are, whether they're skimmers or bream or even tench and carp. Quite big patch at one point, quite well out, not where I was fishing, but could well be a carp feeding. I was quickly catching some roach, quite reasonable ones, up to about half a pound. One or two small roach bream hybrids, they seem to be showing at the moment. I'm getting 2 or 3 most sessions, and they're in different sizes, so they've obviously created the hybrids more than one time recently. Some are very small, sort of half an ounce to an ounce, and others are sort of 4 or 5 ounces. No big ones at all, but in the past there's been ones in there up to about £3, so maybe in the future they'll show. As the sun went round, picked up one or two other better fish. I had one fish I wasn't quite sure it was deeper than the general roach. Lovely deep little fish, about £0.5, probably a roach rudd hybrid. And to cap the session, I had a roach that I didn't weigh, but just about knocking on £1, which is quite good for in there. There are bigger ones, although not had much bigger than that for a while now. I hope you've enjoyed just watching me enjoying that sunshine. It was fairly peaceful. One or two people chatting up the other end. I could hear them, but the microphone seems to ignore it. Bit of the usual traffic. It was a work day, so the lorries were on the road. And plenty of birds starting to wake up now with the sunshine. A few jays, ravens, crows, and so on. I'm hoping fairly soon I can get out on the riverbank properly and do a proper session on there, but it may be a couple of weeks yet. Somewhere I can talk to the camera as I'd like, which is what I really want to do. Fishing I did in this session was very standard, size 22 hook, some little shot down the line, waggler with a hollow tip, nothing very different, but like I say, very, very pleasant. Until next time, that's goodbye for now.